Hello and welcome to Out Motorsports After Dark, a casual late night podcast for automotive enthusiasts. If you're tuning in for the first time, Out Motorsports is the community for LGBTQIA driving enthusiasts from all around the globe, where our motto is cars as you are. Joining us from Philadelphia is the owner of Go Mobile Tires of Greater Philly. Our special guest is Evan Schmitt. My name is Matthew, and I am the Lambda Sonde that saved California's air quality.
I'm the fiberglass packing inside of that AutoZone muffler that you blew out at 90 miles an hour on the interstate, Ian.
And I'm a questionably cheap 911 at a buy here, pay here lot.
Excellent. So tonight we'll talk with Evan about his cars, his business, any exciting adventures he's been on. And then towards the end, we will go on an adventure talking about Zodiac signs and what cars we feel might fit some simple descriptions that we've found. Evan, how are you today?
Alive.
I mean, this late in 2025, that's the most many of us can ask for.
Yeah, I'm at this point, I'm just like, I think 26 is going to be my year.
Apparently, I was very quiet, so I'm going to bump this up. So, Evan, you have the tire business, but I know that you've been in this industry for much longer. What's your background?
Oh, man. Right. So started the tire business only like 3 years ago. So Go Mobile Philly, we opened up in January 23. But prior to that, see, now you're going to make me go back through and everybody's going to figure out how old I am. When I start talking,
he's 27.
I'm 20.
He's like 22.
Try to remind me later. I have a really funny road rage story about somebody, this person in another car that clocked me, bad. It was really funny. Oops. So we'll get there. And so for 15 years prior to that, I worked in IT. Worked a lot of help desk, a lot of things of that nature, and then but prior to that, so when I was a wee Evan out of high school, I actually went to the local community college for a Toyota factory program, and then worked as a Toyota technician for a couple of years, and then moved into independent shops, and then sometime around 2008, I embarked into IT. So it's always kind of funny when I talk to my customers, because this comes up with my customers sometimes. They're like, "Oh, do you work on cars? Have you worked on cars for a long time?" And I'm like, "Well, professionally, where it was, cutting me a paycheck, 6 to 8 years, something like that. But you never stop doing it." It's a kind of like as soon as your friends and your family and everybody find out, like, "Oh man, you can fix cars." I got this noise in my whatever Ford Explorer.
I relate to that because I used to detail cars, and professionally making money off of it. I didn't do it for that long, but as I owned cars and have been a car person, I've been detailing for decades.
Right. Well, it's exactly. It's something that you just keep doing, because, and I'll warn you guys, you'll have to stop me because I will go on these tangents, but my dad was a big DIYer. That was like where I kind of, he was a civil engineer, as his profession, but he was really like one of these guys that was like, yeah, I can do that, but he was good at it. It was like he would go to the library and get a book and read up on how to do something before he would tackle a project, and then he would do like a 90% job. He would get it. Mostly
they call that jack of all trades, master of none.
But better by far than a master of one.
He was doing that without Google.
It was YouTube University before YouTube.
So you gained a lot of your just sort of live it, breathe it passion and enjoyment of doing projects from your dad.
Yeah, that was live and breathe, enjoy it. No, I think it was more born out of like being kind of cheap, and not wanting to pay somebody to do it.
Well, they never do a good job anyways.
Well, so it wasn't, I think it was just more the fact that he was an engineer, and it was just sort of like engineers are like that. They're like, I can figure out anything, kind of thing. I think that, it was just this sort of thing of like a curiosity and wanting to try something new, and wanting to, kind of like see if you could do it, sort of thing. For me, I am a little bit more like I know where my limits are, so there are certain things that I won't attempt around the house. I'll do a little bit of electrical work, a little bit of plumbing, but nothing like, if it's beyond like a tool I could buy at Home Depot, I'm not diving in on that.
When I'm looking at like DIY projects, if it's any sort of like specialized tool, I'm out. I bounce.
It's the same
because
with cars.
You know what? When you
need those for the BMW?
You get the specialized tools, when you get the specialized tools, they don't come with instructions. Well, it's just, here's the tool. You know what you're supposed to do with it, but then it doesn't tell you how to use it.
But it's they cost like over $100, and you're going to use it one time to do this repair.
It's that
400.
You made me. It makes me think of like, I don't know why the Demolition Man, the 3 seashells just popped in my head again, showing my age. But I was going to say that not knowing how to use a tool, that's the like the thing. But but like to Matt's point, like that's I ran into this problem with plumbing. Basically, the water line to the ice maker in the fridge, they attached it to the one line that is unfiltered. So that was for the outside faucet. And it was driving me crazy. So it's like, I need to put the water line for the fridge on a filtered line that's right next to it. And that's why but that was the only thing I needed the tool for. So but this happens all the time with cars too. Thank God for tool rentals from like AutoZone or, Advance and those places. Because there's even like with me, like, I'm an ASE master tech. Like, I was like, I've done pretty much everything you can do on a car. And there are so many things where I'm like, I'm going to do this one time. Like, like I don't know how many times I'm going to set the pinion depth on a rear, like on a differential. Right. Like that's,
I don't know how many times I'm going to remove the clutch fan from a BMW after I put an electric one in.
And even that, like, you just get some channel locks and like you do those hand exercise things, like the grippers, and then you use the channel locks to take the fan off.
Yep.
But even so, like, that's funny you bring that up. They had they have a rental fan clutch tool now, because exactly, like, how many times are you gonna? Well, it's a BMW, so you're gonna be working on the cooling system a lot,
frequently.
So you may want to buy that tool, but but as far as there are some DIY projects on it. That being said, I feel like kind of recently I kept, the rental tool, because I was like, I might need this again. I think it was like a spring compressor or something, where I was like,
I've rented a spring compressor more times than I've used the one that I actually bought.
Right.
Because I bought it because I thought, I've rented this enough. Maybe I should buy one.
Well, that was the old rule. So the rule I kind of set for myself is that if you use a tool twice, buy it. Because if you need it once, I should say use. If you need it twice, go buy your own, because you can borrow it once, but then if you borrow it a second time, it gets annoying. And so that's that.
But what if I won't need it a third time?
So that is why I own a tool for doing Porsche center lock and the torque wrench and everything else, because like I am friends with another like brick and mortar tire shop, and I got somebody called me up with a GT3 Touring, and I was like, shit, that's the first one I've done. I was like, I don't have the socket. Fortunately, those cars crack me up because Porsche includes the socket in the car. It's a 3/4 inch drive, ridiculous socket that like no home person, especially not somebody with like GT3 money, is probably going to have in their home arsenal. And so it's just sort of nor really would like AAA have. I actually don't understand the scenario where the included center lock socket would come in handy to a Porsche GT3 or GTS owner, that has center locks.
Right.
But in any event, so yeah, I borrowed they had this place has been open for 30 years. They had the torque wrench in the socket and so on and so forth. And so I borrowed it from them. And then lo and behold, not even a month later, I got someone else calling me saying, hey, I want to put aftermarket wheels on my GT3 RS. $500 later, I have the torque wrench in the socket and everything I need to do it.
But now you can advertise that you can do that.
Well, and that's the thing is that I do.
GT3s are cool, but like, what did you cut your teeth on? Like, what was like your first few cars? I don't know. What was your first 3 cars?
My first like personal drivers, like that I
your cars.
So my very first car, I talk about this car all the time because I miss it dearly, and I feel like it was the first mistake I made as a young car enthusiast. I had a 1985 Toyota Cressida.
Ooh.
And
what engine is in that?
Do you want me to talk about the 5MGE and the M series engines from Toyota, the 2.8 liter inline 6, 2 valves per cylinder?
Okay, so that's the part I wanted to know. It's a 2.8 liter inline 6.
One of their earliest. It can trace its roots back to the 2000 GT because that also had an M series engine in it. The mistake was that I was a 17-year-old fucking idiot and was like, this is like a stupid car and I want something cooler, and didn't take care of. Well, so I will say, in my defense, that car had some issues that I at the time did not know how to fix. I wasn't that good yet. I could change my own oil and like do basic things. 5MGEs were notorious for a couple things. One was the cam bearings would go bad. So the thing sounded like it was knocking its ass off, but it was the camshafts, like clacking as you were, so in other words, you take off from a stoplight, it was like, clack, 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 make that horrible noise, kind of thing.
Diesel effect.
It was, well, and so my dad, in an effort to try to quiet it down before, not knowing any, it's like, I learned all this after the fact. This was like when I was a Toyota technician, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to have a Cressida, and like the old heads in the shop were like, oh man, did you do cam towers on it? I'm like, no, I got, it was gone long before then. But in an effort to quiet it down, my dad tried good old Marvel mystery oil in the crankcase.
Oh boy!
And it proceeded to disintegrate the valve stem seals, and so I looked like I was spraying for mosquitoes everywhere I went. The amount of smoke this thing put out. So for like a 17-year-old kid in high school, it was like, I'm glad I have a car, but also it's a pretty fucking bad car. It's. The car would like have its moments where it was brilliant. It would just it would have a day where it decided it was going to run well and like not make much noise and not smoke a ton. And
it's very relatable as a person,
right? Like listen, we have good days and bad days. It's kind of like. So the Cressida the Cressida decided to shear off all of its torque converter bolts, and so it stopped moving. My mechanic at the time was able to put bolts back in it, and it did move again under its own power, but only after I'd gotten a car. That got replaced by an 86 MR2. Let me see if I can rip through the cars real quick. I was trying to do this the other day. So 85 Cressida, 86 MR2, 79 Corolla hatchback. That was that was the last car before I departed from Toyota. Only to come right back again. No, 89 BMW 325i 2-door, 97 900 turbo. So I went from the Saab to an 03 325 Ci. I kind of like how I had an E30 and an E46 that were identical. They were white over tan 5-speed, coupes. So it's 5-speed. It was 320. So basically, it was the most decked out 325 you could have had. So it was
nice.
With a stick. So it was, I think the only thing it didn't have was sports seats, but it had, like the branded audio, xenons, rain sensing wipers. It had the ski bag, not just the pass through. It had the actual nylon bag that would extend out. Yeah, it was very fancy. So the went from that to an 07 Mini Cooper S. Two minis. Yeah, I went to a 2010 Clubman after. So the 07 that I had, the only reason I actually traded it in, it was funny. It was like around the time that I met my husband. And this is where he was introduced to my sort of psychotic nature of car ownership. There's like, no, I'm not that bad. Like there's certain things I will focus in on something and I'll be like, I can't ignore this anymore. And I have to, my '07 did not have cruise control.
What?
And yeah, like, and I looked up the original sticker on that car. It was like $28,000 in 2007 or something like that, which at the time was a pricey car. It wasn't like a crazy expensive car, but it wasn't a cheap car either. Like a Corolla in the time was like 16 to 18 grand, kind of thing. Yeah, it was a weird model, man. It had heated seats, no cruise control. That's it. I think I think the heated seats might have been the only option on it. Yeah, the fact that it didn't have cruise control, I took a couple road trips with it, and I was like, "F this car, I can't do it. I need my cruise control." We have friends that live in Maine, so we would run up there, and that's like an 8-hour drive to Portland, and so the local Mini dealer had this 2010 Clubman that was nicely optioned, and again, pepper white. So sorry, Ian, that it's white.
Beautiful. You don't need to apologize.
But it was, again, branded audio, cruise control. It had an iPod hookup, which was, a big deal at the time.
Oh, was it the 30-pin iPod connector?
It was. and I had my 30-pin to Lightning adapter plugged right into my iPhone for it. But it, I adored that Clubman. That was a great car because it solved a lot of the practicality issues of the hardtop. By just adding that like little bit of extra length and the little suicide door in the back. Like, it was awesome. The only reason I sold that car is that my husband and I were buying a house, and I was like, I don't want to have a car payment and a mortgage, so let me put this thing up for sale. Because I think it had like 56,000 miles on it when I got it. It was lower mileage. It was like one owner, well maintained. It was, actually it was a good car. My only complaint with them, and it's probably, I think it's a complaint that's echoed by Car and Driver and anyone else that's had one as a long-term, test, is they just become rattle traps on the inside. Small car, stiff suspension, run flat tires, they just start to rattle. So we went from the 2010 Clubman to what year was that car? 91 Celica. That was I think a Facebook Marketplace find for $750. Literally, like a 26-year-old kid. He'd been driving it since he got his license, and he got a big boy job out of college. And he was like, I was just waiting for this thing to die, and it did. And so now I have like a Hyundai Sonata or something that I just went and bought new. But it was a 91 Celica stick, 5-speed, that the timing belt broke. I think only had like 128,000 miles on or something like that. But long story short, when the timing belt breaks on one of those, it's a non-interference engine. So basically, this guy had it towed to a Pep Boys, and the Pep Boys was like, "Oh yeah, the timing belt broke, motor's blown. We got to get a new motor for it. Like, it's no good." And so I'm sitting over here like the guy behind the tree, like rubbing my hands. I'm like, I know exactly what to do right now. This thing needs like $50 in parts and it's going to run again. Yeah. And so, and that's exactly what I did. So I got it home, AAA'd it back to my parents' house, I think. And then, one timing belt kit and a couple of, what those engines would do is that all the cam, crank, and oil pump seals on the front of the engine would all leak, and they'd leak all over the timing belt. The timing belt would break. The end. And so all you do is you replace all the seals, get a fresh timing belt, and then proceed to drive said Celica for like another 18 months to 2 years. And then your dad dies and you inherit his '07 Jetta, and so, just to whiplash the whole thing, here. No. But that's basically, that's basically exactly what happened. So I was driving this 91 Celica. My dad passed away. He had been driving an '07 Jetta, like an '07 Jetta Wolfsburg, but
5-cylinder.
Yes. So this is the only reliable Volkswagen powertrain. So in '07, the 5-cylinder was still relatively new. I think they came out with it in '05, and it had this obnoxious rev hang. So like between gears, it, like as a means of cleaning up the emissions, when between gears, it holds the throttle plate open for a few minutes, because when you slam the throttle plate closed. When you take
minutes. Oh God.
Was for a few seconds. That's a few minutes. You shift from first to second takes 10 minutes. You know, like it's this 0 to 60,
and you're just hanging at 6,000 RPM the whole time.
The 0 to 60 on the Mark V is awful.
Man.
In the minute range, no, a couple seconds. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Holds it open for a second. It's been a long day, and like I worked today. But in any event,
that's okay. And with the episode with Marissa, I said an 8th mile drag time was like 14 seconds. So you're fine.
mean, if you're running, that's no. If you go run an 8th mile in 14 seconds, that's fast. You know, it's I think maybe I don't know. I don't know sport things.
I don't run.
I don't running.
What's running?
Anyway, so the rev hang was irritating. I've been driving a stick shift. Like I literally took my driver's test on a stick. I'm like, I know how to drive stick. I promise. And this thing would make it seem like I did not know how to drive stick. I go like first and second was all herky jerky because it's holding the RPMs at like $3,000 as I'm going into second, letting the clutch out. And so I was like, I have to fix this. I can't drive this car like this. And so I there's a shop down in.
So as a true car enthusiast, the way to fix a problem is to add performance.
Absolutely. Right. Like,
yes.
Look, if you have to replace a part or have to replace something, you have to upgrade. That's the
exactly. If the upgrade path is better, it's more. More is better.
It's more
always. Yes,
it was more gooder. It was what I and well. So the thing is that like the 5-cylinder sounds great. It does have that like sort of like baby Lambo sound because it's like it's half a Gallardo V10, and I'm like, it's.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
I mean, it's kind of like they share some engineering similarities, but like they are very different motors. But in any event,
so you modified that, you got rid of the rev hang.
Got rid of the rev hang, put an intake on it. It's like kind of like I was having a hot boy summer with it, kind of thing. And
so then what?
Now we're coming into like. Oh God, it was probably like 2021. It was like post-COVID, and I was like,
so literally the worst time to be buying used cars.
Oh, absolutely. And that was like, well, so it was a weird. No, actually, well, yes and no. It was like this weird time where I don't think the prices hadn't exploded yet. They were on their way. Like regular traffic was on it. So if I was looking for like a Chevy Equinox at the time, yeah, I was screwed. Right. But like, fortunately I don't shop for regular traffic. So
what did you shop for?
Well, and now we cross over into the current fleet because this is a car I still have. So we were, and actually drove it tonight, so we were planning on going up to Maine. Not the same. We're going to go skiing. We're going to go to like this place up in like northwestern Maine, like very remote because, social distancing was still a thing and so on and so forth. Fortunately, we didn't go because my uncle that we were going to visit actually had COVID. So, we dodged getting COVID, there. But, I said at the time so Sean was driving an 05 Hyundai Elantra and I had the 07 Jetta. And I was like, I don't want to drive either of these cars for 10 hours to northwestern Maine. These are not, while we have road tripped in both of these cars, these are not very proper road trip cars. And so I remember back from my time when I worked at Toyota, the owner of the dealership had a friend that used to bring his LS 430 in for service to our Toyota dealership, just for oil changes, because it was like, why blow extra money on something that I don't have to? And I remember I got it as I got the ticket one time just to work on it. And so, I took it for a quick spin just around the building, kind of thing. And I remembered being like, my God, that is the most comfortable, quietest car I have ever operated. Like that was this like, and I, up to that time, I have, since then, I've driven like Rolls Royces, I've driven Bentleys and all manner of Mercedes Benz, and I will say that like Mercedes is actually the only company that gets that is close, if not better, depending on the model you're talking about. Bentley Arnages and Rolls Serifs do not actually ride all that nice. It's really kind of crazy for how expensive they are and how luxurious they're supposed to be. They have a pretty firm ride. It's surprising. But the so I was really blown away by this LS. Like, it stayed with me, this LS430 thing. So I was like, let me, for shits and giggles, just like see what LS430s are going for on Auto Trader. You pop it open it, and so there was this one that was over a couple towns over at a Toyota dealer, and I got it for a song. I got it for actually like a really good deal. And it was a one owner. I found the guy had left like all the paperwork from when he bought it in the glove box. The car's an 06, and so this is around 2021, and so for 15 years he had left everything in the glove box, and right down to like the receipt from the cashier's check he went and got for $65,000 to buy the car cash.
So the Lexus is in the current fleet. What's parked next to the Lexus?
So right now, we've got the 06 Lexus LS430. We have a 2016 Audi Allroad. That's the most recent edition. That's what replaced the Prius. And then we have a 2001 Porsche Boxster S.
Ooh,
that's
a roadster.
That's my midlife crisis car. That was I turned 40 and said I need my convertible Porsche. Like with the
but the Allroad, I did not know you had an Allroad. That is exciting.
The Allroad's a very recent addition. We just picked that up around Halloween. So that one was it was a friend / customer of mine that when I was working on it, like I was doing like a flat repair for him. I mean, like a year ago or something like that. And I said, hey, if you ever want to get rid of this, let me know, because I really like this thing. So because it's midnight blue over this dark brown interior. So it's like, I forget what they call it, but it's
love
really
that.
Great.
Really,
love that.
Really great color combo, nicely optioned.
And these were twin turbo V6.
No, so this is an A4 Allroad. So it's on the B8 A4 chassis. It's what I say is that it's basically an A4 Outback. So like a legacy Outback is, where it's just like it's an appearance package. It's a little higher off the ground. It's got softer tires on it. It's got more sidewall. That's all this is. It's an A4 Avant that's raised a little bit, has some like little fender flares, and then it's got like a taller sidewall tire on it. And it's if you look in the manual where they have, because it's very German in the back, they have all the dimensions of the car and everything else. Compared to the S4 and the regular A4, it does sit something like 1.8 inches higher or something like that. The overall height is higher.
Well, you sold the Prius to a grad student, and you bought your Audi from a customer.
Yes.
What led you to doing work for a person that could sell you an Audi Allroad?
Oh man, so meaning like
tell us how you got into a situation where you were doing work for someone who had an Audi Allroad for sale.
Oh, meaning through my mobile tire business.
Yes, exactly.
Are we segueing off of Evan's cars onto?
We're segueing quickly. We're segueing.
Get to the fucking point. No. So as we talked about at the beginning of the episode, I own a mobile tire shop. So like some people might not be familiar with what that is. So essentially, I have a Sprinter 2500 van, which in the back has a tire machine and a balancer, and so an air compressor, and basically it's a shop on wheels. And so I can roll up to wherever you and your car are going to, not even you, actually, just where your car is going to be for about an hour and a half, and I can change all your tires versus going to a tire shop or something like that. But yeah, so seeing like kind of how the how the sausage is made, so to speak, with some of the tire retailers, led me to I hadn't found a lot of satisfaction in the IT world, and so my business partner was actually he was the one that came up with this, as I love to remind him when things are not going well, that this was all his idea. And so but no, he got the idea from YouTube. I think he watches a lot of automotive YouTubers, and he's like, I saw them do mobile tires in one of the episodes. It was kind of a cool thing. We should do that, and I was like, hey, sure, what were you thinking? And we were going to buy a box truck and put machines in it and just do it sort of ad hoc like that. And then we found this franchise, Go Mobile Tires. They're the ones that outfitted the van. They upfit everything for us. And, yeah.
So you're the man in the van, and you've got a customer, and they call you out and they want 4 new tires. What kind of a time frame are you working with when you arrive and then start your task, and then by the time you're finished?
Usually about an hour and a half, so if I
that's really impressive, because I I feel like I could go to a discount tire or something and there's 4 people working on each corner of the car, and it still takes like 30, maybe 45 minutes.
If even they tell me to drop it off.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is they always, and that's my whole thing with this is that, I will say it doesn't always work out perfectly, right? Like sometimes people will be like, I got to go pick up my kid from soccer practice. Like, can you get it done? And I'm like, dude, don't like.
And you're sitting there with like 3 wheels.
and I'm like, brother, can we maybe schedule this for a different time when I'm not like under the gun to get this done? Like, but it's like, listen, fine. Like, that's the whole point. The convenience is the point, right? Like, that you didn't have to take this thing and like. So you are technically without your car while I'm working on it, but from the time that I park the van in your driveway to the time that I'm pulling out is usually inside of 2 hours. Typically an hour and 45 minutes. Because so I'm just doing them 2 at a time, one side of the car up, take the 2 off, change them, put them back on the car, do the other side, done. Kind of thing. And I've got it down to. Go ahead.
Is something like an office parking lot viable?
Totally. Oh yeah, and that's what I try to tell people too. Is they're like, oh well, I could like work from home and you can go. I'm like, don't. I'm like unless you really want to, and that's not gonna but I'm like, don't waste PTO. Don't I'll come to your office. I've done that. I have changed tires on folks' cars while they were in work. I've done it while they were in the gym, while they were shopping. Like I said, basically it's like, hey, listen, if you need 4 tires, if I can have your car for an hour and a half, that's all I need. And then. Hell, I can even bill you later. Like, in other words, like I can send you a link to pay online. In other words, I can change the tires and be on, lock your car and be on my way. I've had people do that with Teslas. They're not even there. I'm just like, I'll text them like, okay, unlock it now. They unlock it from the app, and I just do my thing. And okay, it's all done. They'll lock it back up, and they pay me online. I never even meet the person. Sort of.
And they're watching you on the Tesla cameras the whole time.
They're watching intently on the to make sure that. Make sure I'm not putting like a anti-Elon Tesla Club sticker on the back of their car.
Mm-hmm. As you're selling tires and doing all of these things for people, do you get a lot of car enthusiasts who find you?
I do, and those are some of my favorite clients. People that are actually like into the hobby, and like they are both. It's. Yeah, I don't know what I want to say without coming off as like, you don't want to
say it.
No, well, so it's
well, do you find that like certain types of people have like certain different types of cars, or they're buying certain kinds of tires?
Oh yeah. So listen, if you are, so this is our other big joke is that no, it's not really a joke, but now we're going to talk specific tires. I'm sure like the listeners are so enthralled that we're talking about tires again. That was like I said, I don't know how much we can talk about tires with people, but no. So we can talk about multiple brands because we don't have to focus on Bridgestone in this episode.
I really want to know like what you're noticing about people.
Yeah, so I will say that like the enthusiast tire for the Northeast corridor right now is the Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus. Like that.
Hey, that's what I have.
And that's everyone.
Why does everyone keep buying that tire?
Okay, so
it's a great tire.
It is a great tire. So here's the thing about the DWS 06 Plus is that it is, so my partner and I call it the tire because it does so many things it's an absolute jack of all trades tire. Because the thing is, the only thing it's like not great at is probably like snow, like in which case it's like short of actual winter tires, not many.
It would be good at snow like when it's new, but like after one summer season, then maybe the snow capability drops off a bit.
It's a little sketchy, yeah. So that's I had a set on the Lexus actually because like the Lexus has a weird tire size. it's not that weird. It's sort of it's a 245/45 R18, and the only reason I remember that is because that's actually the size that's on the all road. And the that tire size, so it being the same size as the all road gives it, it's going to feed into what I'm about to say, is that that's a size that you typically find on like European like sporty sedans, not like a big luxury boat like an LS430. So it's very hard to find tire, because like a tire spec goes beyond just the size, right? Like sometimes you have a speed and load rating as well. And so every tire that was a 245/45/18 was what's called an XL load rated tire, meaning it was like extra load, meaning there's an extra ply in the tire that, again, don't quote me, I know this is going on record and so on and so forth as a podcast, but like the thing that I think the reason that XL load rated tires exist for is not to carry extra weight, though they can. I think it is because it actually makes the sidewall of the tire a little stiffer, which gives you sharper turn in and sharper steering response. So those tires are typically catered towards sportier cars, like things that, or cars that where the handling is an expectation. So think BMW, think, Audis, think, anything, like
it's what gives you that off center like response as you're
that quick, turn in kind of thing. And so the LS430 was not spec'd with XL tires originally back in 01 when it came out and so on and so forth. So finding a tire in that size but that does not have the XL load rating, very difficult. Like there was like maybe I think I had like 5 to choose from, and 3 of them were like tier 3 bottom of the barrel brands that I wouldn't put up. The
Macho Muchos or whatever that.
Oh man, the Mucho Macho. We still have not found so Cosmo is a company that I wish I could sell them, and no distributor around here has them, because it pains me because I absolutely I think that their branding is hilarious. I think it's like an actually funny company, and the thing is that Cosmo Mucho Machos are not a halfway bad 200 treadwear track tire. Like they actually,
I mean, that's the whole point of them.
I didn't even know they made that aggressive of a tire.
I don't know. Well, again, I'm maybe talking out of my ass a little bit.
Or even if it was a performance tire, I assumed everything they made would have just been for a Corolla, which would be
that's the thing. Yeah, so no, I mean, the Mucho Macho is a summer tire. That's a summer performance tire.
Very mucho, very macho.
Every era has this, entry level performance tire. Back in the mid 2000s, it was Sumitomo with the HTRZ.
Well, I always like the name Sumitomo. That's the only thing I know about them. The name sounds good.
Sorry, the UTQ, they're 300 treadwear, so which is still fairly aggressive. Like it's not, we call those with my endurance racing team and stuff like that. My one it's the one team captain likes to call those super 200s. Where they're just these it's a summer tire, but really it's for the track. That they kind of a lot of
it's for one summer.
It's for one summer. Yeah, maybe 2. If you're light enough, you get 2 out of it, kind of thing. No, so for a lot of the endurance leagues actually they have a minimum required. As they say, the lowest treadwear tire you can have is 200. If you go lower than that, we'll either DQ you or penalize you in some way. I know the 24 Hours of Lemons is like that. I don't know if AER, American Endurance Racing, I don't know if that's their rule. I think Champ Car, I think limits you to 200 treadwear. He's kind of different racing series, with that, because again, the lower the treadwear, the softer the tire, so you're going to really grip. Believe it or not, I think Bridgestone RE71 RS is 200. I think those are 200 treadwear. But yeah, so the Mucho Macho actually, for how cheap they are, it's I feel like a decently competitive tire. But yeah, they so yeah, we're going to talk about this. So finding properly spec tires for cars and so on and so forth. Yeah, so DWS 06s was one of the ones that came in that size, and I had them on the LS430, and my only gripe with them was that they were kind of noisy. That was my only.
I was about to bring that up. I was riding in a Focus RS with those once upon a time in the past, and I could not believe how loud they were.
Yeah, they made a good amount of road noise.
They're perfect for a convertible because then you just hear noise all the time.
And then you just hear nothing but the open air breeze and sun on your face, and you're deaf. They are. It is astounding how good they are at. I think one of our other members, in Out Motorsports, runs them on track cars. And they'll go out there and do, like full track days on them and stuff like that. And they come back and they're like not even that beat up. And it's just like, that's amazing. That's incredible. I took the Boxster to a track night in America once, and I have Kumo all seasons. I have Kumo's competitor to that tire on there. It's called the Exta PA51. And, oh my God, those things. Not on track.
Not on track. On the street, I had those. I like those tires. They're really good. They lasted forever, and they were really good in the wet.
See, that's the thing, is mine are terrible in the rain. That was like, I took that car to the Shenandoah rally, and it started raining, and literally everyone in my run group had either Michelin's or one person had hand cooked because that was like, believe it or not, the factory equipment for their Porsche, for their Panamera. And oh my God, they were flying. And I was like, I can't do shit. I was like, I start going like, I'm like, as soon as they hit 60, it starts doing this. And I'm like, no, thank you. It starts, wobbling.
I was on the highway in my Honda Fit, and I was just really impressed with how well it cut through water. That's about as spicy as it got.
because the Honda Fit is rolling on pie cutters, or whatever, pizza cutters, like the like little skinny wheels. Yeah. No, but it's not the 255 section with rear tires on my stupid car, like that's Porsche with their staggering. But yeah, they when I did the track day with those things, I mean, like the fronts were like chunked out. They literally had like just like all this melted rubber on the grooves. I was like, ooh.
That was a little bit how my tires ended up on the Focus at Willow Springs last summer. Okay. Because I bought the discount tire brand Road Hugger all season performance tire.
Not the Road
because
Hugger.
I had just spent a ton of money putting the Continentals on the Z4, and I still needed new tires for the Focus, so I went for budget. And they did fine on the track, but they did turn a little bit to soup at 110 degrees desert temperatures.
And that's really like again, like to say to go back to the stuff that like Davis is talking about with like getting what you pay for. It's kind of funny. Like I said, with tires, it's the reason I 100% agree with what he was saying is because I'm like, yeah, you do absolutely get what you're paying for. However, every once in a blue moon, something comes along where it's sort of like, oh, that's not that expensive and performs excellently. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that a lot of times it's actually in like the all season space. It's usually like something that's like a so it's,
right where you least expect.
Well, the thing so Pirelli's got a tire out now called the AS Plus 3. They have it all in all their different ranges. So in other words, they have like a P0. AS Plus 3 is like their performance line, and then they have like the Scorpion, which is for for SUVs and trucks and so on and so forth. And those are awesome tires for regular traffic. Like in other words, like if you just need something like my mom's RX 350, perfect tire for that. Like that's like something just to like bop around on and like really good in the rain and really quiet and still like has a little bit of turn in, like still feels like pretty decent to drive. Yeah, great, perfect. And they're not crazy, like they're not Pirelli expensive. Now Pirelli's really funny because like that's sort of a I'm sure again 10 different people listening just heard me say Pirelli and went, oh. Because apparently car enthusiasts hate Pirelli. That's a weird thing that I've noticed is that I say it's the most polarizing tire brand. People are either like, I only buy Pirellis, I will only put Pirellis on like this, that, or the other thing, or they're like, I had a set and I will never own them again. They sucked. Yeah,
it's not super important, but for me, when I hear Pirelli, I think, oh, marketing.
Well, that's the thing is that, I think that people think that they're, all marketing and what we were talking with some friends and I think what we came to the determination was that I think the reason that a lot of people hate Pirelli is actually because a lot of enthusiasts is because when you think of like entry-level enthusiast cars, so things like the Jetta or the 3 Series or even like the 2 Series, they generally come with this one specific tire from Pirelli, and it's the P7 Cinturato All Season, sometimes a run flat.
Ah, yes.
Oh, is that how you pronounce that? All right, cool. I've never said it out loud.
Apologies to our Italian listeners.
So Cinturato actually means belted in Italian. That's an old name that Pirelli has been using, but I think since the 70s, 60s, something like that. Whatever they came out with their first like steel belt, their belted radials, like that's what they're called, the Cinturato. It's like came equipped on like Fiats and I think some Porsches and things like that. And so, but no, so yeah, the P7 Cinturato All Season sucks. It's a terrible tire. Like that is just doesn't last long, bad in the wet, like noisy, all the things.
Perfect OEM tire.
Literally just what you want to put on your European luxury car, right? Like that somebody's paying top dollar for, which is really insane to me. But Pirelli made a deal with the devil, I guess, so they wind up on like every luxury import.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more information we could share about tires and brands and models and trims and all that. Let's move on to our final segment. Matthew, if you want to send us in the right direction here.
Okay. We're shifting gears. We're now in third.
And we're going to sixth. We're going to get through this as fast as possible.
So we're getting plenty of traction here. Like, how many other like puns can we make about,
All right. So I had an idea, which was, Zodiac signs. So I came up with an idea where we're going to put the Zodiac sign to a car or a car to a Zodiac sign. And so the premise is simple. Ian and I are Scorpios. Evan is a Gemini. And I'm going to let Ian start because his list is longer and I also have answers for some of them. And Evan has answers too. And so we're going to go through and we're going to see where it goes.
Evan doesn't have good answers on this, so I'm going to see. I'm going to let you guys go first.
I only have predetermined answers for Gemini, Scorpio, and Leo. Ian did
all the homework.
Ian did all of
a
it.
Full list here.
And so I'm very excited to see where this is going to go.
So I pulled my my Zodiac sign synopsis summaries from CoStar. So it's a little short, it's fun, it's flirty, it's not going to be biased against any one particular sign. We're going to start with Aries. Aries is described as having no filter. An Aries gets angry and then forgets why they were angry. They think everything is a game they can win. They will do anything on a dare, and they are easily bored. And for me, the car that comes to mind is a Ford Bronco Raptor, specifically a Raptor.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
That's it. That sounds interesting as a Raptor. A Raptor I feel like we need to throw the word like overconfident in there. I really wanted to say Ferrari as you were going down that list.
You think a Ferrari would do anything on a dare?
Yes.
A Ferrari would be the one daring you to do something.
Oh, interesting. I feel like I'm thinking more about it, and Ferrari would refuse to compete against anyone. So perhaps actually,
for sure.
No, so they wouldn't do anything. They're not accepting dares. No, not at all.
I mean, you just go over to the other Italians, Lamborghini. It's like a little bit more. I feel like Lamborghini is more center of attention. Look at me, showy. Just over the top, but like knows it and doesn't care. Kind of thing. See, this is why I can't do this, because like I'm going to start describing the personality of the car in reverse.
Well, what you said sounds very like happy-go-lucky. I think it's not a Raptor; it's a base Bronco, and now I agree.
No. I think it has to be a Raptor specifically.
Because
Raptor, that's the whole like gets angry and then forgets why they were angry. Big dumb Raptor. Brr, I'm a let's move on. Let's move on.
Different scat me. Like,
moving on to Taurus. Taurus is described as someone who just wants to cuddle. A Taurus is a homebody. A Taurus is all or nothing, no in between. And they wear the same outfit every day, and they hate big changes. And I said this was an Audi SQ7.
Bro, absolutely not. The SQ7 is way more interesting than that.
Are you sure it's an Audi?
Yeah, the Audis are really buttoned down. That's the thing, is that like even like they haven't really changed their
Yeah, no, exactly. It's very buttoned down. It wears the same outfit every day. You go to an Audi dealership, every Audi looks exactly the same.
See, I was gonna say that it's right in the name. It's right in the sign. The name of the sign. It's a Ford Taurus.
You know, in a similar way, I was gonna say that sounds like a Highlander.
Just something that's, you know, it's like a warm hug. Like
okay, well, we can agree to disagree. Moving on to Gemini. Evan.
It's like a warm hug that vaguely smells of cigarettes. And
Gemini is described as being charismatic. Gemini uses humor as a crutch. Gemini could talk to a brick wall, Evan. Gemini uses arguments as flirting, and a Gemini knows a little bit about everything. So
read me.
Who is surprised that Evan is a Gemini?
Read me to filth.
And I said, this is what spoke to me because my husband is also a Gemini. I think this fits best a Rivian R1S.
I don't mind that
because it's high tech. It's got all the latest. It's very efficient, and they're always making it more efficient.
And have you ever been in an R1S? Like, have you ever like played around with one on the inside? Or
no.
They are so stinking cute. Like they are.
Yeah,
actually,
the Rivian face, I think is what really drew me to it, because the Gemini characteristic is charismatic.
They are very.
I wrote down one for this, and I said Hyundai Kia Genesis.
Just the whole model range.
Just because that's their attitude, right? It's they're fun, they're cute, they're kind of argumentative. They're coming in and they're saying, no, you're doing that wrong, I can do it better, watch. Right? But they're not shitting on anyone. They're actually just trying to fuck around and play and just like, see what's going on. But they're doing it different. They have a new take on everything.
And I think a lot of their EV range, and I think a lot of EV companies, companies are using EVs as this like sort of place where they can play with things, because they're like, okay, this is like a, I don't want to say like a loss leader, but they're like, this is not going to be our volume car. In other words, if it doesn't do well, it's okay, kind of thing. So now,
oh yeah, because they have like the Ioniq 6N. Like, who's going to buy that? But hey, I'm so glad it exists.
It's cool, right? Or that was a GV60 Magma. Is that the new hot?
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
yeah, Magma is the
get it?
The new hot. Get it?
Yeah. But the I saw a GV60 on the road recently, and I was like, that's a pretty good looking car. I actually was like,
I saw one yesterday. It was white, and I was very disappointed.
They've grown on me. I didn't like them at first, and then I got to drive one, and I thought it was fantastic.
And that's, I would say that I was in a Kia EV9 the other day. I had to do somebody like smashed a curb and had needed a new tire, and it was a brand new EV9. I think I had less than 2,000 miles on it.
They are brand new.
Yeah, and so I was a little blown away at some of the things being broken on the inside already. Like the power seat did not work properly, and the only reason I knew that is when it has like the automatic like moves the seat to get in and out. And,
but you said the driver hit a curb or something?
Yeah, they smacked into something, and
so maybe the driver is a little rough on the inside too.
Could be. No.
Moving on to Cancer. Right. Cancer is described as being sensitive. A Cancer seeks comfort. They forgive, but they never forget. They only have one boundary, but it is very firm. And a Cancer takes on other people's problems. I said a Cancer is a Volvo V60 cross country.
Whoa.
So
I'm going to let you have that one.
As you should.
Can you run through that real quick one more time?
Yeah, run that by me one more time. That's
Okay, so a Cancer is sensitive. They seek comfort. They forgive, but they never forget. They only have one boundary, but it is very firm, and they take on other people's problems.
Yeah, that's a Volvo.
It's a Volvo. I think it's a P2. That feels very like
I don't know what that is.
Like a picture again in your mind's eye, a 2004 S60, like that kind.
Okay.
Like that sedan.
The boundary is sporting. It does not do that. Don't ask for it. Don't request it. I'm not
fuel
doing
efficiency. It. We're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not doing fuel efficiency. We're not doing sporty. We are very ergonomic and we're very safe.
When did you have a bad day? Right. Sit in this seat. It's gonna take all your stress.
It will make you feel better, literally. Like it's not.
All right, moving on to Leo. A Leo exudes warmth and creativity. They are a little bit vain. They have very large personalities and they want to stand out. They are also interested in luxury. I said BMW M5.
Oh,
I have an answer for this.
Okay, go for it.
You have a different thing than I do for Leo. Interesting.
It's a Lincoln Aviator.
Whoa.
Okay.
So
a Ford Explorer with lipstick.
A Ford Explorer all dressed. Because my original answer for this was actually a high trim Ford, like an Explorer Platinum, and I was like, no, it's an Aviator. Like just go to the Aviator. Like that's the one that's like, well, because it says like interested in luxury, and it's kind of this like. I think that like and this probably speaks to some other like psyche thing with me. The Explorer is very daddy, and so
no, absolutely, well, it's fully 100%.
And so I think that like you've got a Mountaineer, Aviator. I think that like I said, if you're gonna go towards the luxury side, because like an Escalade, if we're totally switching into some other kind of like luxury SUV, I feel like an Escalade's too flashy. That's too vain. Whereas I think like like a Explorer Platinum or an Aviator is a little bit more like restrained. It's more. Speaking of
restraint, your neighbors need to get it under control.
Speaking of open exhaust,
it's 10:30. It's 10:30. They're getting ready for the late night drags.
I really wish Pop Tunes and
that's what it is.
I wish Pop and Bang Tunes would actually damage your engine faster than they do.
Okay, so you said Lincoln Aviator. I can kind of see that. I can see that. I don't think that fits with having a big personality. I don't think Lincolns do that.
They don't, and that would probably lean more towards like something in the Cadillac range. Like I feel like Cadillacs are a little bit more in your face.
Would we slot Infinity in here? Twin turbo V6.
Infinity.
I don't think I would.
No.
Yeah, like I feel like Infinity is in a little bit of a crisis right now, and that sucks because they make good. Like they're good cars.
But they're actually, very pretty cars.
They're
okay. No, wait, hold on. I'm thinking about it. Infinity really wants to stand out, and that's a Leo trait. They're not. They want to. So that's a Leo trait. Okay, moving on. Moving on to Virgo. A Virgo needs to feel useful. A Virgo has a quick fix for everything. They're judgmental, but with good intentions, and they have exceptional spatial awareness. They also have a million ideas per second. And I struggled with this one, but I landed on Lexus ES, the new one.
Toyota Tacoma.
So I'm sorry, one more time.
They got to be useful. They have a quick fix for everything. They're judgmental, but they mean well. And they know where they are at all times, and they have a million ideas.
Yeah.
Toyota Tacoma. Like, this is feeling like Hyundai Santa Cruz to me, or maybe like Ridgeline, like faux truck, kind of thing. Because like initially Subaru Baja popped in my mind, but I was like, it's kind of not quite. And I was like, oh, what's like the new version of that? And I'm like, oh, it's like
but who is a Baja being judgmental about?
Well, that's Maverick owners, obviously. That's
and Maverick owners are all at the dealer getting their buyback.
Okay, I just want to say a Lexus ES belongs as a Cancer.
You think a Lexus ES is for Cancer?
Yeah. It's
Alexis
the
ES is a
same.
cancer
sensitive.
brother. No. No,
Okay,
the ES is fine.
I could see that. I could see that.
I'm perfectly fine with the ES. It serves a
All right.
purpose.
Moving on to Libra. Libra doesn't like to be alone. They're really good with like aesthetics. They avoid conflict and they see every side. They are also prone to thinking about fantasy and they cannot make decisions. I said very specifically a Genesis GV80 coupe.
Co-signed 100%. And while we're there, the BMW X6.
So-
Actually, any sort of SUV that calls itself a coupe.
Anything that BMW calls a Grand Coupe.
Is this list somewhere so I can stop asking you to repeat it so I can actually read it?
I just got it off of the CoStar website.
CoStar website. So CoStar.
Yeah. CoStarwebsite.com.
Zodiac signs.
I don't know.
CoStar personality traits, qualities, and quirks.
Let me pull up my
Has anyone
history here.
seen a GV80 coupe in person?
And so what do we just do? Libra?
Yes.
See, like this is just hates
Like,
being alone, really good aesthetics, conflict avoidant, sees every side, prone to fantasy and can't make decisions.
I said very specifically it's the GV80 coupe.
It's not an
Doesn't know what it wants to be.
It's not an Alpha Julia.
Whoa.
I don't think an Alpha Julia fits there.
Really good aesthetics.
Maybe with
But-
really good aesthetics.
But it is.
But conflict avoidant? No.
It's kind of
It's Italian.
It's Italian. That's fair. Yeah, that doesn't work.
But it
It's like-
is.
Again, apologies to our Italian listeners.
But it is a Fiat. No,
Are-
the Fiat's what's the big Fiat? Not the 500.
500L?
Is this, yeah, the 500L. That's
The-
a Libra.
Really good
The
aesthetics.
Fiat 500L. The Fiat 500L is like if the My Pillow guy was a car.
Oh no! Not the My Pillow guy car. No, it's I had a friend that had a 500L. We loved that car. No, that's the thing. Is like
All right, Matthew.
the 500.
This one's for us. Moving on to Scorpio. Sorry, Evan. Scorpio's primary emotion is betrayal. We look cool in leather jackets. We're okay with uncomfortable silence. Nobody can be sure if we're serious or joking. And we have eyes that look into your soul. I said, and this is maybe the one that I don't agree with, but I still think it fits, is a Porsche 911.
I think I have an answer. If we remove the last one, that last quality you said about the eyes, right? That's a Tesla.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be a Tesla.
I don't want to be a Tesla either, but that's a Tesla.
So then let's not be.
Well,
We're gonna be
well,
Porsche 911.
so should I fix it for you then? Because I have an answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
Fourth gen Pontiac Trans Am WS6.
I can't be sure if you're serious or joking.
Its primary emotion is betrayal. I need to right the wrongs, brother. I need to.
Is a Trans Am okay with uncomfortable silence? Because I don't think they would be.
It doesn't ever have to deal with uncomfortable silence because it's got straight pipes on it, brother.
Yeah.
It's got
you know
ram
what?
air
This
induction.
this works.
It's got-
This works perfectly fine for one that we are all gonna love: a Lucid Air.
Dude, dude, the Lucid Air is so great.
I can't co-sign that. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius does not have an indoor voice. They form their opinions off of pure emotion. They are obsessed with self-improvement. They wield their truth like a blunt weapon, and they are the friendliest person at the party. I said Mazda CX-50. And that is uncomfortable silence.
Explain your answer. I'm sorry because I
I don't know. I just felt it in the moment.
it just felt right.
Yeah.
Forms opinions off of pure emotion. I think that Mazda's. Oh my god, I'm going to say something very controversial.
Uh-oh.
I feel that Mazdas are incredibly overrated.
Oh, girl, we know.
I don't think they're bad
I
cars.
go off about this in the chat all the time.
Outside of the Miata. The Miata deserves every bit of praise that it gets heaped upon it. It's a fantastic car. All of them, NA through ND2, great cars. Like
I will circle this back to what we agreed on in the chat, which was for their intended purpose, they are good cars. However,
yes.
We in this room are no longer the Mazda customer, and for that, I will forever be offended.
Correct. Well, it's also the fact that they couldn't decide to just be like their peers and create a luxury brand. That they were like, we're just going to make the regular brand sort of luxury. And then they don't make anyone happy because it's like they're too fancy for people just looking for a Camry or a Highlander, and they're not fancy enough for somebody looking to buy like an Acura or a BMW or Lexus or something like that.
So Evan, how tall are you?
I am 6 foot.
I'm also 6 foot. Matthew, how tall are you?
5'8".
So, Evan, what Miatas are you and I driving around in?
So here's the thing: is that first of all, if you will recall, I used to drive an AW11 MR2, and if you've ever seen an AW11 MR2, they are very small.
It is about the size of a lunchbox.
They are the size of a thumbtack, and so that is.
I've thought about it longer. I agree with Miata. Not Miata, Mazda. I don't like the part where it says no indoor voice, but there's no brand that does what Mazda does in that same way, especially with like obsessed with self-improvement. That is a loud car or a quiet car. I'll say Mazda doesn't have an indoor voice when it comes to their design language. They're not like screaming at you, but you notice when you see a Mazda.
Maybe that's more like, oh my God, somebody like.
I think it was really more about like the emotion and the obsession with self-improvement that I was like, this is definitely some sort of Mazda.
Yeah, they wield their truth like a blunt weapon.
This makes me think of the, sort of like the antagonist brother from Step Brothers, the guy that's, who's that actor?
The one who put his ball sack on the drums?
No. He's the brother of John C. Reilly or something like that. He's the one that they sing like the acapella like "Sweet Child of Mine" in the car and something like that. Like he's like, it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer, like that. Who is that guy? Oh my God! Like, again, I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, when I think of self-improvement obsessed, no indoor voice kind of like it makes me think of like somebody like that, some kind of like like guru type person, like that's like trying to sell you a book or a program or something.
I changed my mind. I don't think there is a manufacturer out there that is a Sagittarius, because if there was, there would be a perfect car brand.
Ha!
I think we're giving somebody a little too much credit here. Okay, moving on to Capricorn. Full-grown adult since age 6. Capricorns are the responsible friend, and they are motivated by duty. They take a while to warm up to people, but they repress any emotion that gets in the way of success. And I said this was a Toyota Tacoma.
I agree.
Oh, no, see, I'm going to say like...
RAV4. I agree with Matt. That could also be a RAV4.
When I was doing this, I said Toyota RAV4 first, and then I was like, nah.
We could just say Toyota.
I am going to say W211 E-Class. That is
very valid.
That is a silver over gray, like 2002 E320. Like that's like...
That makes a lot of sense. I can see that for sure.
Is it extremely?
There is no emotion in driving those.
German taxi cab spec.
Literally a responsible friend, a full-grown adult.
Matt had one. He agrees.
that is the most Japanese German car ever made. Like it's
a compliment, truly.
It really is. No, I mean, okay, they're incredibly like I love 211s. They're really nice and reliable and just like good. They're a very good car. Again, terrible fuel economy, but other than that, they're great.
Okay, we have 2 left. Moving on. Aquarius.
We're almost there.
We're about to land the plane. oh God, Scully. What's his name? Sully. Where's he at now? Okay. Purposefully esoteric. They don't have feelings, just concepts. Aquarius actually believes in conspiracy theories. They're more in love with humanity as a whole than individuals. They always feel like an outcast, and they fetishize personal freedom. I said this is a Hyundai Elantra N.
I'm going to say a Nissan Juke Nismo.
I mean, that's kind of in the same vein there.
That's a good answer.
True.
Yeah, that's... Oh man, I don't have one for this. Purposely esoteric, no feelings, just concepts. The conspiracy theory thing is like throwing me because that's making me think of like a woo woo crystals, like aliens built the pyramids, kind of like
yeah,
point your butthole to the moon,
yeah,
like a crunchy festival goer, kind of thing. And I'm like, but then you guys both saying like hot versions of like pedestrian cars is like throwing me off too, because this feels more like the fetishizes personal freedom. I'm like, what is like the conspiracy theorist of cars? Like what is like the like the government's out to get me, kind of thing.
That specifically I feel like is a Crown Vic.
Yeah, there you go.
No. You're thinking of the Grand Marquis.
The Grand Marquis?
That's the car that the conspiracy. So basically, any cigarette car I think would qualify for that. So like that,
so definitely a Grand Marquis.
a Pontiac Bonneville. Like a Pontiac.
There you go.
An Olds Regency. Any of those.
Okay.
Chevy Impala.
Last but not least, Pisces. Somehow they are both 5 and 50 years old at once. They think everything is a sign. They can't remember if they dreamt it or if it actually happened. They are excessively romantic and they are prone to fantasy. They also have no boundaries. I said this was a Cadillac Celestiq.
Good answer.
Oh,
good answer.
That's a good answer.
Which is the $300,000 hand-built EV Cadillac that none of us will ever see.
I think another Cadillac fits in there really well. It's a 3rd gen CTSV.
The CTSV
3rd gen?
3rd gen. It's both 5 and 50 at the same time. It thinks everything is a sign to floor it. Can't remember if they dreamt it or actually happened. Excessively romantic. You can forget that one. Prone to fantasy and no boundaries. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's the CTSV.
I'm gonna go with I have my answer for this. I think that's gonna be a Lexus CT200 F Sport.
Whoa!
I want one of those.
I low-key kind of do too. I actually, I really want to take a CT200 and actually do like a wild engine swap into it. Like I'm not. All the people that are like, oh brother, I put a Harley motor in my Prius. Like I'm like not like
that's a really good answer
in there.
I like that one.
Just as long as you're not putting a Prium in there.
Well, when you think of like so a CT200 F Sport, like prone to fantasy, like any fantasies about being high performance, like that. That's kind of what I think.
The F in F Sport, it stands for fantasy.
It stands for fantasy.
That's
the fantasy sport.
Fantasy sport.
This is for all my Toyota nerds out there. Is that I really want to. I want to 3SGE Beams swap a CT200. So all the actual Toyota heads out there will know what I'm talking about, because they made so essentially Toyota had this like like the IS300, the Altezza.
Mm-hmm.
So they
never heard of it.
Definitely not one of the most popular enthusiast Lexus ever created.
No,
definitely not. Well, so overseas they had a 4-cylinder version. That was like it would be like an IS200 here, but they called it but they had an engine and that was 2 liters, 4-cylinder that had all this like funky valve train shit care of Yamaha, and they made like 200-ish plus horsepower naturally aspirated, and they made a front wheel drive version that also came in the Celica, and so there's already a front wheel drive packaged 3SGE engine that I think would slot nicely into a CT200 and actually give it, because I jokes aside, I think the CT200 is a great looking car.
It looks better than a Prius.
Totally.
Of the same era, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think they could have had this really.
Oh, and you can get them with that really, really pretty like caramel tan interior.
Oh yeah, the saddle brown and stuff like that. Yeah, no, they were great.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is they were like crazy slow, and so they no, but
somebody had one at Willow Springs last year.
Dude, Lexus could have had like a really nice premium hatch on their lineup, like similar to like an A3, and they just.
You mean similar to a Prelude?
And on that note, no.
Yeah. Well, okay, we finished. We did Pisces, and that's the end of the Zodiac.
Yay, we got through all the signs.
For better or for worse. Sorry to nobody.
Well,
except the Italians, who we continue to offend.
We were just like really ripping on the Italians today, man. Between Pirelli and you know,
but we love them.
We do.
Well,
we do,
guys.
We love our Italian ex brothers and sisters.
Evan is in Philly with Go Mobile Tires. You should follow him on all social media. Evan, remind me what the social media is.
Yes, you can find us at Go Mo Tires Philly. So GOMO Tires plural Philly. Should be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, on X, the Everything app. No.
Excellent.
Well, I'm excited to see what you have coming up for Go Mobile, because it sounds like you've had a really good time with it and have seen some success with it.
A little bit, yeah. So we're, like I said, we're just going to try to, I think for 2026 we've got maybe a few things in the pipeline, in terms of business stuff, a little boring stuff, but we're gonna try to hopefully make it a little more successful or pack it in. And then I'm just gonna.
Hey, you said it at the beginning of this show. 26 is your year.
That's my year, baby. That's the year that. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got a friend that is working with an amateur race team who wants to go to IMSA. So there's and he's told me that like as soon as there's an opening for for that I'm his first phone call. So
nice.
You may see.
Fingers crossed for you, man.
Maybe you'll see the tire van at the Rolex 24. Who knows?
There we go. Excellent. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of Out Motorsports After Dark. Next week, we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. And that's it for tonight. Have a good night. Bye.